I use a Facebook account for this channel to do a number of things, to post statuses about whatever's on my mind that I think my viewers might be interested in that isn't worthy of a video, to share memes and things I find humorous, to interact with people on a personal level, being that YouTube's private message policy or its format is frequently changing and not very useful or user-friendly anymore, and to update people when I upload videos on YouTube who might happen to miss it in their subscription box. And I've had this Facebook for a while that's been connected to this channel, and it's worked fairly well, and I've enjoyed interactions that I've had with people there. And in Facebook's infinite wisdom last night, I received this update. Your account has been temporarily suspended because it looks like you're not using your real name. Facebook is a community where people use their real identities. We require everyone to provide their full name, so you always know who you're connecting with. I don't understand why Facebook finds it necessary for me to identify my real name in order to have a Facebook account. I don't see why that's a problem. I'm not sure the emphasis on how it helps me to know who I'm connecting with, or for anyone else. I don't understand the problem with anonymity. No one's forcing anyone to add anyone on Facebook. If there's an anonymous person that tries to add you, you don't have to accept that person. There's simply no need for it. It's not required. And I don't see how a random person with a real name as opposed to a pseudonym is supposed to be any better. I don't understand. I don't get it. But unfortunately, it wouldn't allow me to just use GrapplingIgnorance as a username. So I had to come up with a pseudonym, and I chose to go with Mitchell Reynolds. And I'd like to share the brief story as to why I've chosen that for the GrapplingIgnorance Facebook name. Back when I was in about my third year of college, and my original college roommate was going to a community college back home instead of the university that we originally started going to together. I was back home and visiting, and I wanted to hang out with him, and he had a basketball class at community college. I had gone to basketball classes in my own college, and the instructor there was a pretty casual guy. He was the basketball coach, and it was kind of a community sort of thing. You didn't have to be registered for the class. You could be a community member and come into the basketball class and kind of play a few pickup games, and it was a good time. So I'm back home, and I'm paying a visit to my friend, and he has to go to basketball class, so we plan to go together. We play some basketball together and have a good time. And it was like the first week. So that was the only reason I was there at the same time he was in school, because they started a little earlier. So it was like his first week of class, and we go into basketball class, and it turns out that the basketball coach and basketball class instructor there was a lot more rigidly structured than the one at my university. And he seemed pretty militaristic and firm, and he was a no-nonsense kind of person. And being that I just kind of showed up at this college that I wasn't a member of, and this class that I was not enrolled in, I began to get a little bit worried as to whether I was going to be allowed to be there or not. And we rode out there together in my friend's vehicle, so if I was going to get kicked out of this class, I was probably going to be sitting there for about an hour outside or just wandering around the campus alone. Sure enough, this drill instructor-like coach, he starts taking roll and making eye contact with every single person, making sure the people that are here are registered for this class. And I'm a little concerned about, man, I'm going to get kicked out of here and I have to sit out and just kind of wait for my roommate, or my old roommate, while he takes his basketball class and I don't get to play. And the idea came to me when someone's name was called. He was James Stevens. No answer. We look around. Nobody. Okay, moves on to the next name. James Stevens gets marked absent. I think, ooh, that's interesting. A couple other names got shouted out. No response. And finally, after he goes down the roll a little while, I think, well, I'm just going to go for it. Next time that someone's not here, I'm just going to pretend to be that person for the day. And it's not like I'm ever going to be back in this class again. So I'm just here for one day to play some basketball. I think I can get away with it. And he says, Mitchell Reynolds. And I look around. No, doesn't seem like anyone's there. And I said, Mitch? And he's like, yeah, Mitchell Reynolds. And my plan was that, like, if it turned out that this got put into question, I could just pretend like I thought he said Fitch or Rich or something like that. So I said, yeah, I'm Mitch. He marked me down as present. We start playing basketball. We have a good time in class, and about 15 minutes into this, like, hour and a half long class, someone else walks in late. And I'm looking from the court over at this person who walks in late, and the coach kind of approaches him and gives him this lecture on tardiness and says, "What's your name?" And I'm listening very carefully. My heart's picking up a little bit because I'm there under the guise of Mitch Reynolds, and if that person's name is Mitchell Reynolds, then there's going to be a confrontation here. And the guy responds, James Stevens. So fortunately, I got to play. And that is why I will keep the pseudonym Mitchell Reynolds until Facebook chooses to start making sense and allow people to post anonymously, as there's really no other reason not to. But it came down to Mitch Reynolds or Rusty Shackelford. And I thought that name, for me, based on that story, was a little more personal. So if you want to follow me beyond YouTube, apparently I'm Mitchell Reynolds on Facebook.